My name is Priyanka and welcome to my vlog. Today we are going to talk about how anyone can bring in happiness in their life. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be happy all the time and smiling all the time, because that in itself is not how life is supposed to be lived. There are ups and downs in your life that you have to face, but at the same time, there is a choice, and you can choose to be happy. You can choose to live your life from a place of well-being and ease. No matter what you do, no matter how much you work upon yourself or how much you try and interact with people, you are not able to reach that place of well-being and ease. So how do we go about it? How do we bring in that peace and joy and wellness into our life? There are no quick fixes for something that you're feeling deep inside of you, that darkness that you're experiencing, that numbness that you're experiencing, that aloofness, that loneliness. uh, if you're in a place where you are unable to connect with anybody, people around you do not understand what kind of feelings you're feeling, because you are simply just keeping everything bottled up, and you know that nobody is going to understand what kind of feelings or emotions you're going through. Then let me tell you, there is a way out, but that way out is going to require you to take some very drastic measures, and those measures are not literal measures. You're not going to do some sort of activity to get out of that misery of yours. No, the measures I'm talking about all reside in that brain of yours, because you have been thinking these thoughts, you have been constantly worrying yourself to an extent that you don't know where your life is heading. So, the first and foremost thing is that you have to stop seeking validation from others. The only validation that you need in your life is self validation. Now, how do we do that? How do we stop seeking validation from others? Simply by ignoring the outside world for a while, because we need to heal ourselves, and we need to bring ourselves to a point of stability. We need to center ourselves. And I'm not literally asking you to ignore people and not asking you to ignore your partner or your parents or your friends. What I'm saying is that you ignore the feedback that you're getting from them. So don't pay attention to what they're saying about you or your circumstances, because everybody has an opinion about your life right now. And everybody's telling you, oh, you don't have the right partner, or you don't have the right job, or you don't have kids. Now, all of this is consuming you. You're consumed by the feedback that you're getting from others, and this is taking up so much of space and energy from your life. You're unable to make any rational decisions, because every day you are getting that feedback and you're just swimming in that feedback. You are not able to bring yourself to a stable ground, and only when you get yourself to a stable ground can you make right decisions for yourself. That is where you start improving your life, because now you're not getting any sort of validation from anybody, because you are no longer paying attention to the kind of feedback that you're getting from people. So every day you have to sit with yourself and ask yourself, what did I do today to make my life better? It can be one simple tiny step. Maybe you just said no to toxic people, or you simply gave yourself 15 minutes of stillness or thoughtlessness. You sat down in meditation because you decided that I need to calm this mind of mine, because everything in this life of mine is coming in from my thought process. So I sat down for 15 minutes in absolute silence, and I felt all the emotions that I've been hiding in my life. I'm letting them go, because if you are unable to let go of these emotions, you're simply holding on to a lot of unwanted thought process. Coming on to the second point, you have to stop going into your past. It's done, right? Now, you never go back and look into your past when it comes to exams. The day you finish your exams, you just close all those books and never go back and look at those books. Do you do that? That's such a nice exercise that you've been doing in your life. So, you only do that when it's about your studies, right? You don't do that when it's about your personal life. So, if someone has left you, you've just recently going through a heartbreak, or you have had a big failure in your life in terms of your career, You don't let it go easily. You just keep holding on to those feelings, and it's time for you to let go. So your past is not going to help you build your future. No way. And you know that. But you have this very bad habit of going into your past, and that past is simply just going to keep you stuck in one place. So if you want to improve your life, if you want to get ahead in your life, if you want to be happy, if you want to live a life of ease and well-being, you have to let go of your past. You have to let go of this entire feeling of being stuck in a place. And because your past is hooked on to you, you simply cannot move forward. You're stuck in one place, and it's time for you to let go of your past. Let go. It doesn't serve any purpose in your life. It doesn't improve your life. Yes, you can learn a few lessons from your past experiences, but that's it. Learn those lessons and move on. Why do you want to carry so much of baggage in your life, and why do you want to just simply keep on staying in that past? To love yourself, you have to let go of that past. It's the most important decision in your life right now. But many people are unable to take that decision. People carry on their past for so long. They carry it for years. Somebody said something to them, somebody behaved in a very bad way with them. They'll carry on and they'll keep on remembering it. It's time for you to let go of your past, because it's time for you to let the light in. That past is like a darkness that's never going to leave you unless you light a lamp in your heart. And that lighting of lamp in your heart is only going to happen if you are ready. So you have to get ready for it. Talk yourself out of that past. You have to do that. Wake up every day and tell yourself, I'm not going to waste another moment of my life going into that past life of mine. You can do a very simple exercise, and that is you create these versions of you. So let's say that version is version 1 of you. Now you go on to version 2.0. You tell yourself that this new version of me cannot hang on to that past version of me, and that is why I'm not going to think those thoughts again. And that is how you can move yourself out of that past life of yours. Coming on to the third point, people don't really feel gratitude in their life. They have everything. Sometimes they just don't want to see those things in their life. So if you have a roof over your head, or you have great parents, maybe some aspect of your life is going to be better than the other aspects of your life, and that is where you need to focus upon right now, because you need to bring in some sort of contentment in your life, and that contentment can only come if you're grateful enough about the life that you have right now. Don't look at the parts that are not working out. Don't look at the areas of your life that are falling apart. Look at the areas that are really working out for you. If you have home cooked meals, or your parents are really supportive, pay attention to them. Pay attention to these small things in your life and become grateful, and just see how much contentment and happiness you're going to feel right away. It's a very small exercise that you can do. If you're feeling sad and burdened, and if you're feeling empty inside, just look at the things that are really there for you. Divine has given you some really great things in this life of yours, but you don't want to look at them. You don't want to feel contentment by saying, oh yes, I have a great house that I'm living in, I have my parents with me. You don't do that, right? We simply don't pay attention to these small things. So look at things from a different perspective. Start seeing things in a new light. And you will say to yourself, I am so lucky that I have my parents with me. I am so lucky that I have a roof over my head. I'm so lucky that I'm getting 3 square meals. Small little things. That is going to make a lot of difference in your life if you simply look at things from a new light. Coming on to the fourth point, a lot of people feel miserable in this life of theirs because they have a lot of expectations from a lot of people around them. So they'll have expectations from their partners, from their parents, from their co-workers, and when those expectations are not met, they will feel bad about themselves. They'll feel bad about this life of theirs, and this is where you have to stop being silly. This is a silly habit that you've picked on, and you have to stop doing that. Don't have any expectations, because the more you do, the more you're going to feel miserable. This is the reason why you're miserable, because you simply have so much of expectations from people around you, and even from yourself. You expect yourself to excel, and then you don't excel in that field, and then you blame yourself. Isn't that what's happening in your life? You cannot face failures. If you're a perfectionist and you fail at things, you simply become miserable. You start blaming yourself, then you start blaming divine, and the cycle goes on. A never ending cycle of cribbing about your life because you have so many expectations from this life of yours. If you start leading your life from zero expectations and simply work, I'm not asking you to sit and do nothing. I'm asking you to work. Just work around your life. Don't expect anything. Let it be. And you will find yourself removing that misery. You are miserable because you expect yourself to be a winner or a hero all the time, and then you don't get to be a winner or a hero. That hero complex is giving you a lot of misery. So please stop doing that. That is something that you have to let go immediately because that is not going to help you attain calm and peaceful and well being in your life. You're never going to be there. Coming on to the fifth point, you can be happy by simply helping others. And if you are feeling miserable in this life of yours, if you're really feeling low, my advice to you is to go out and help people. It's going to uplift you like nothing else in this world. Go and help out people who really need someone's help. Just do it for a day and see how much of a difference it's going to make in your life. You need to understand that if you are from a life of privilege, even if you're not, you're simply going and helping people, you're being kind to them, you are going out and helping people who need, let's say, food or shelter, you're providing them some sort of help, you will find that you are going to feel so much of that good energy in your life. You've been missing this good energy because you've been interacting with really wrong people and you've been thinking all the wrong thoughts about yourself. So if you want to feel that contentment, that happiness, that well-being, start helping people, and I'm telling you, it's going to uplift you. You're going to feel wonderful about this life of yours because you now have a purpose in this life of yours. This is not about just doing what's best for you, is doing what's best for others. Even if you end up saying two kind words to people, let me tell you, you're going to feel wonderful. People have so much of misery and darkness within them that they find it difficult to even speak great things about others. So it is time for you to speak great things about others, do great things, and do the same thing for yourself. Speak great things about yourself. Start saying great things about yourself because you don't do that. You simply go on talking about all the wrong things that you've been doing in this life of yours. You talk such bad things about yourself to yourself. You, I am ugly, I am poor, or I am not a great person, or whatever. I mean, you have so many things that you tell yourself about. But there's something that you must do in this life of yours, and that is stop talking rubbish about yourself. Why do you want to talk about such bad stuff about yourself? Why do you want to have this sort of image about yourself? Don't do that to yourself because nobody is going to come and improve upon your self thought about your own self. This is your task. You have to improve your own thought process about your own self, and it is time because you want to be happy and you want to be content. Coming on to the sixth point, it is time for you to be willing enough to unlearn a few things that you've picked up in this life of yours. You have some very bad habits that you don't want to change, and those bad habits are leading to a lot of misery in your life. Now, I'll tell you what all bad habits that you have, and they're very common across people who are feeling numb or who are feeling disoriented in this life of theirs. And the first bad habit is the habit of not eating well. They don't eat well, they don't sleep well. And these are very small habits that can bring about a drastic change in your life. Now, if you start improving your diet, if you start paying attention to whatever you're eating, you will find that you're feeling 100% better physically. And because you're feeling better physically, you're feeling better mentally and emotionally. If you're having headaches and pains and tummy aches, and your gut is giving you a problem, then that is sapping away that energy from you. You don't feel well physically, you don't feel well mentally and emotionally because you have never paid attention to that diet of yours. And You sleep at 1, 2, or 3 in the morning and you ask yourself, why am I feeling this way the next day? It's because you've not been sleeping well. Sleep well, get 8 hours of sleep, sleep on time, and eat well. Don't eat junk food, don't eat anything out of packages because that is not food. Eat lots of fruits, drink lots of water, and this is something very, very common, but we don't apply that in our life. We don't drink enough water, we never pay attention to our sleep cycle, and then we feel miserable in our body. Half of that misery is because you've not been paying attention to that diet of yours and you've not been paying attention to your sleep cycles. It's time for you to unlearn these bad habits. It's time for you to incorporate some really great habits in your life that are going to bring about a lot of calmness and well-being. Seventh point is that you need to start using that imagination of yours to create a better life for yourself. Now, you've been using that imagination of yours to create such, you know, violent and uh, dark movies in your life. You create so much of struggle and so much of vehemence and anger and irritation in your life only because you imagine most of these things in your mind. You meet somebody who's not been treating you well and you imagine all the worst things about yourself and about that person. You even have internal dialogues with that person, how you're going to get back to that person, how you're going to have that conversation with that toxic person. Oh, please stop it. It's of no use. That person is never going to change, but it's time for you to change that life of yours, and that can only happen if you are paying attention to your imagination. Now it is time for you to start imagining great things. So whatever you want to do in your life, let's say you want to improve your relationships, or you want to bring in a lot of money, or you want to have a great career, you want to have some purpose in your life, start imagining something better. The vision board, stand in front of it every day, look at your life from a better perspective, because right now you cannot imagine so many things at the same time. So it's okay to have a vision board. It's okay to get up every morning and imagine some really great things happening in your life. You can script a better life, and everything is possible. That happiness, that zone of well-being, that zone of ease can happen to you too. It's just that you have never imagined that. So it's time for you to start imagining a better life for yourself. If you allow yourself to work upon that healing process, if you allow yourself to think better thoughts, then yes, you can reach that zone of wellness. Vlog, do like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below. And thank you for watching, and see you with the next one.